Hi, I'm Stephanie,
And I'm Justy, and
and
together
together
we're
we're
losing
losing
it.
it. We've each lost over 100 pounds with the help of diet, exercise, and breaking bad habits. And I also had weight loss surgery in 2020.
And I recently had skin removal surgery.
We're just sharing our journey and what we've learned throughout the process.
And we're not doctors, so if you have any medical questions, reach out to your doctor.
Welcome back, friends. Today we are going to bring you another episode where we're going to talk about exercise, kind of all things exercise, where we started, what we like, what we don't like, how we got there. Um, and
Why we
just
do it.
why we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the reason we exercise, which sounds like it could be obvious, but it's not necessarily obvious, I guess, to everybody. So with that being said, I guess, do you want to start? We didn't talk about who's going to start.
Yeah,
All right, I'll
yeah,
let you
no,
start.
I'll
Go for
start.
it.
So I think first we were going to talk about why we exercise, and we both exercise for the same reason, but different reasons as well. So I exercise because I like to, it relieves my stress. I'm not thinking about work or all the decisions I have to make or all the things I have to do. I'm just focused on my workout. It also kind of just makes my mood better for the day. It gives me energy for the day. I typically work out in the morning. But for me, it's more about feeling strong and being strength. So I do a lot more strength training than I do cardio. It hasn't always been that way, but I found that that's what I enjoy. But for me, it's not to lose weight. I don't really exercise to lose weight. I eat to lose weight, but I exercise because it makes me feel better.
Hmm.
And we were talking about this earlier. It makes me feel better once I get there. My struggle is getting there.
Yeah, and for me, and it depends on what exercise it is because when it comes to running, I have to talk myself into it. But I feel so good when I'm done. And it's just like getting there, like she said. And then
Mhm.
like once I'm about halfway through it, I'm like, this is great. But all the way there, I'm like, I want to do this. I don't feel like doing it. It's still like a constant battle in my head.
Yeah, and so Steph does more cardio, more running, which hasn't always been the case either. So
No.
I think next we'll kind of just talk about what we do, what our each individual routines are. For me, I haven't been on a routine because I've been recovering from my skin removal surgery.
But you're almost
I'm
allowed
almost
back.
there.
Yeah.
I was supposed to start working out last week, but I had to have a revision done. So I have more stitches. And so once stitches come out, I can work out. So I'm going to talk to you about what I did before my skin removal surgery, because that was pretty much what I feel like I want to go back to. So I worked out with a personal trainer 2 days a week, Phil, and we would work out in the morning, and he would just, I mean, he did everything. We did from, we would do more cardio days, cardio weights type days. We would do heavy lifting days. We would do switch it up from leg days to shoulder and arms and that sort of thing. So it was just sort of like whatever he threw at me, I had to do. So that was great. And then I also did body pump 2 to 3 times a week, which is a weightlifting, lower weight, higher reps. It's to music. It's actually what I'm gonna train to be a coach for. So I would do that 2 to 3 days a week.
So
Now
that's like a weight cardio
it's a weight cardio.
combination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a full body workout. It's a great workout. It's like 1 hour. You got music, you got someone up on stage telling you what to do. I like workouts that are brainless. Like I need somebody else telling me what to do. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it.
Same.
Yeah. So like the people who can go and just like get it on their own, that's not me. I need to be in a class. I have a Peloton, not a Peloton. I have a mixed fitness bike at home and it's kind of like a Peloton. Just it's the Beachbody app with that. But, same thing. I need someone to tell me, stand up, sit down, pedal faster, go slower, put more weight. Like I just need someone to tell me what to do.
Mhm.
And
Which
so
is funny because we don't normally like people to tell us what to do.
yeah,
So we're exercising.
that's typically my problem.
Mhm.
So but also like if it's a nice weather day or that sort of thing, like I carry my bike on my car in the summer, because I'll just jump off and
Yeah.
ride my bike. If I'm in traffic, I'll find a trail somewhere in Charlotte. It's really easy. Or I'll go hiking for a few hours on the weekends or just randomly. So that's kind of what I do. But I really do try to do something active every day.
Hmm.
Um, not like every day. It's not full hardcore,
Right.
but at least 5 days a week, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and that was actually, and I know we'll get more into kind of our goals as well, but that was a goal of mine was to be 5 days a week, and I am not a 5 day a week exerciser at all. I think I'm more of like a 3, 5 on like a really good week. So I've found that it's it's that all or nothing mentality for me. I'm like, oh, if I can't exercise 5 days, I'm just not going to exercise at all then. How about that? Like, take that. I'm sticking it to myself over here. So yeah, my preferred exercise is currently running, um, which I can't believe the words come out of my mouth. I never thought I'd see the day. And I think the reason I like it is because it is also a full body workout in a different sense. I mean, the only weights I'm lifting are the weight I have on myself, but it's still a full body workout. And I can burn a shit ton of calories in 30 minutes. I could do a 30-minute run and burn a couple hundred calories, which is like, I don't know, it's just something about it that I feel great when I'm done. But like I said, it's getting there and getting like at least halfway through it that I'm like, okay, I can stop talking myself out of it now. And I've been giving myself more goals. To be able to run the whole 5K without, because I was always an interval jogger. So instead of interval jogging, let's try to run the whole thing, slow myself down a little bit. Um, the last race I did was 4 miles. I did not run the whole thing without stopping at all. There was a lot of hills. North Carolina is
Billy,
hilly.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
there was a lot of hills, and I was like, no, we're not going to kill ourselves for this. But I still had a pretty good pace. And I think that's the other thing that I like about running is that you have, we say we're only in competition with ourselves, and you have that competition there. It's like, okay, can I beat the last? Like, there's always a something to beat. So
Hmm.
I think I kind of like that too. Other things like walking, sometimes I don't feel like running, and I'll still drive to the trail and I'll walk. Or the last time I went for a run, I went there to walk, and there was a group of people in front of me, and like as if the trail's going to be empty, and they were going too slow for me, and I had to go around them. So I ran around them, and then I just kept running.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, well, now that we're running, we're going to keep doing this. So I just kept running and I did that. And I ran 2 miles without stopping. So that's my thing is trying to get it to where I'm not stopping now. But outside of that, if I'm not running, walking, I do like body pump. I haven't been to the gym in a little while to do body pump. I kind of like going with Justy. I like having a gym partner. I'm not a gym alone person, and I'll do it, but I prefer to have somebody to go with.
Hmm.
But I'll still do it. But I like body pump. I even I don't have it now, but I had the app to where I could do it at home, and I have everything to do it at home. So I would either do it at the gym or at home. And then the other thing I really like is hiking. That kind of started for me, and so I'm going to kick it into kind of a next topic of ours is kind of like what made us start some of these things. And I think COVID was a big push for me for hiking. COVID was a big push for me for Body Pump and all the Mills programs. I didn't really know that there was anything besides Body Pump until I had the app
Hmm.
and I could do it at home. And then I would dabble in some of that other stuff too. But Body Pump was still my favorite of all of them. I'll do some other ones to shake it up because I'd get bored with Body Pump sometimes. But um, yeah, COVID really made me do things differently. So right when COVID first came was at the same time that I was preparing myself for surgery because I had my weight loss surgery in 2020.
Hmm.
And it was around the same time that the doctor was, or the psychologist, when I had my psychologist appointment, he was like, yeah, your weight's going up, not down.
Hmm.
And he said he wouldn't approve me if I didn't turn that around. And so I knew that I had to like do something else. And so I started to get more into exercise and I joined a gym. And then that's when like COVID. everything shuts down. And I was like, well, I'm not, the gym was like, oh, we're opening back up. I'm like, no, thanks. So that's when I started, I purchased a bunch of stuff to do it all at home, would get more into walks, would get more into hiking. And when I lived in Delaware at the time, there's a lot of state parks and hiking trails and stuff there. Not the elevation like we have in North Carolina, but
Mhm.
really, really pretty state parks and hiking trails. So that's how I got into hiking there. Um, and then yeah, that was really what got me started with all of that. As far as running goes, which is the crazy thing because I've been to races of Justy's and my
Mhm.
sisters and I said I'll be your best cheerleader ever, but I am not a runner
Yeah,
unless
like you
somebody's
are a
chasing
hundred
me. Oh
percent.
yeah.
I'm not doing it
Oh yeah.
ever.
That was the 300-pound me. Like, you are not going to catch me running. Cute tutu, no thank you. Like, I'm not doing it.
Right.
But then, so walking, I lived near a park, literally across the street from a park in Delaware. And that was my walking park. So, walking all the way around, I forget what it was. I think like 3 laps around was like 2 miles or something, let's say. And then it was a little bit hilly there too.
Hmm.
But I was like, God, like I know I can go faster than this. And it would be the same thing on trails. Like this is crazy that I can't get my walking speed faster. Like I'm like, so I would jog a little bit, but only when I was by myself. If I was
Right.
with my husband, I wasn't
I would go
jogging.
at night with H2.
Yeah.
Um this was in like I guess between we were married between 2011 and 2013. Short-lived. So we would go jogging and but I would only go after at night.
Yeah.
Because like it went dusk, like when it was going down, because I just didn't want
You could
someone
like see
seeing
me in all the daylight.
all my jiggle jig and like sweating like a freaking,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
sweating like crazy.
I don't sweat as much now as I used
No.
to. I do
Mm-mm.
still sweat a decent amount, but
Mm-hmm.
I used to sweat something terrible, which is why I started wearing headbands because I was like, I'm gonna sweat by walking. Like
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
sweat regardless.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so that was it. Like we would go together and he would jog and I would be like, "Oh, I'll see you when you pass me." And
Hmm.
then one day he's like, "You went faster today." And I was like, "Cause I jogged a little." He's like, "You jogged a little?" I'm like, "Yeah, thought I'd try it out." I was like, "Yeah, I gave it a little jog." And so I was like, I don't know. I just feel like I can go I know I can go faster, but
Mhm.
I'm just not it's not working for me. Like I'm trying, my little legs are trying to walk faster. So I would just jog a little bit, which is how I then got into like interval jogging. So then I downloaded the Couch to 5K app and I did that. Um,
And that's a good app. I did that too. When I was training to do the first 5K and then the 10K that I did at Disney, I used the couch to 5K.
mhm.
I would use it on the treadmill sometimes because I hate running on the treadmill. But I lived in Florida and it was hotter than shit. So
Right.
treadmill it is. And then I did Orange Theory for a long time.
Mm.
Once I moved to Tampa, it was too hot to
That was
do.
always intimidating to me. And you would tell me like your workouts. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
mm,
Yeah,
proof.
cause I like to work out. Like I do like to work out. And Orange Theory isn't easy. And I did it for about a year and a half, and I honestly didn't lose any weight, which is my whole point of working out. I work out for strength. So I went from being a walker to being a jogger to being a runner during that year and a half. I went from not being able to do lunges or squats fully to being able to do full ones with weights. I
Mhm.
went from, lifting using 10-pound weights to using 20-pound weights. So I improved my strength, I improved my health, but I never lost weight. I was still 250 pounds, probably
Mhm.
like 250 to 260 back then. And was always like, I go 5 days a week, for an hour
Mhm.
every day. I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. Well, it's because you're eating a fucking pizza every Friday night
Right,
and a six
right,
pack of Modelo. So
right.
that's why it's the food. It's what you put in your mouth.
And
And so,
it's
yeah.
funny
Hmm.
because I was in a Torrid. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was in a Torrid, and the girl behind the counter. I think I was maybe with my friend Kim, and she'll probably remember this too if she was with me. I think so. Um, And the girl behind the counter, we were buying, I think maybe exercise clothes or something. She's like, yeah, she's like, exercise so I can just eat whatever I want. She's like, I just can eat whatever I want and then I exercise. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, that's a great idea. But I was like, much younger then. I didn't know
Right.
enough then, and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, yeah, well, that's what I" so I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna exercise so I can eat whatever I want," and this
Mhm.
woman, her girl, her, like, little theory stuck in my head, but,
Mhm.
like, I now know that's bullshit.
It's complete bullshit. And I remember at Orange Theory, this girl came up to me, and she said, "You do a really good job." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "You must eat a lot."
Shit.
I was like, "Bitch," I didn't say anything. I was like, "Well, bless your heart," because that's what you say when you're from Texas. I
Right,
was like, "Oh,
right.
bless your heart. Have a good day." Um, but it pissed me the fuck
That's
off.
not what you say when you're from Jersey.
No. So it really pissed me off and it like ate at me. And I remember thinking to myself, well, I don't eat a lot. Then I
Right,
thought that. Now when I look back at what I was eating, obviously I was eating a lot.
right.
I mean, she was right. I mean, she was a complete bitch for saying that
Yeah,
and what have you, but she was right. And that always stuck with me. It's like, well,
yeah.
I am working out, so I must eat too much.
That's
Like,
that's like a high school bitch comment to
yeah,
say. That's like the
totally.
girl who told me, "Oh, they make jeans in your size." Because I'll never forget that. I
Oh,
was in
yeah.
high school and I'll
Mhm.
never forget that. Yeah, bitch, they do make jeans in my size. What? And back then I was probably 170,
Uh-huh.
something like that. I was,
Yeah.
I was big for like a kid, but
Right.
I
Yeah,
was
people
like,
just don't understand. And of course, this woman was super, super fit, super, super skinny, whatever. And there's a difference between people who have the ability to be morbidly obese and those who don't. We
hmm
just think differently.
yeah,
So it is what it is. They'll never understand us. We'll never really understand them because we'll always have this mindset. We just have to figure out what works.
right.
So yeah, so Orange Theory didn't it worked for me as far as health, not weight.
hmm
Which I guess you could say, oh well, if you're fat, you're not healthy. But I made improvements in my health. I'm not
Right.
saying I was like,
Well, you
a
built
model of
muscle, that's for
fitness.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like I do. I love to work out. I like it. I don't do it for I don't even think about how many calories I'm burning or anything. I'm like, how do I feel?
Mm.
I like the challenge of, pressing 400 pounds. Like pressing 400 pounds. To me, that's a challenge. To me, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
And the funny thing is, you just said that because
Mhm.
I'm like, yeah, well, I do like to know how many I like to
Yeah,
know
I
how
don't
many
even
calories I burn, but you want to know what's
yeah.
funny? I don't put it against what I've eaten. Like,
Mhm.
I've never been like, I burnt this many calories so I can eat X amount. I just like to know, like, shit, yeah, I just,
Mhm.
worked out for 45 minutes and I burnt like 400 calories. Or like when I take a hike or something in the app's like, you burn 1,000 calories because that
Mhm.
was an intense ass
Mhm.
hike. Like, I don't know. I just,
Mhm.
there's some kind of
Which
gratification in
is
seeing
what
that.
you're a data person because you also track your food more than I do. You're
Mm,
a little more like data centric, and I'm just more like, how do I feel? I do have my Aura ring that I use, and it kind of helps me with my track my sleep because that's usually a problem for me. And then it'll tell me like, hey, dude, relax today. Or you need to get it because you've been relaxing too much. So it does it's in a very gentle way, kind of keeps you on track.
yeah.
And I kind of like that. Just like, here's a reminder. It's almost bedtime.
Yeah.
You should probably get some sleep now.
Mhm.
So it's just a more
Listen,
gentle,
lady.
yeah, it's just a more gentle like thing. So I do like that. And there's no rings to close and shit like that on
Right.
my Apple Watch. But anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of our journey of how we got to here. Now we have always been active though.
Yeah.
Like, and so that's also why I say it's about the food you put in your mouth because we both ran kitchens. That's not
They
easy.
don't call it running a kitchen for nothing.
No, like we were
You're
on
literally
our
running.
feet. And I don't know how I did it
I don't
with
either.
all that weight.
I don't either. Yeah.
Just moving this weekend. So, long story short, I moved this weekend and hired movers who canceled on us at 10 o'clock when they were supposed to be there between 8 and 10. So they called me at 10 telling me they couldn't come till Monday. Whatever. So we decided, okay, let's do this. I called in some buddies. But just lifting those boxes and stuff, thinking like, man, I used this weight that I'm struggling carrying up the stairs right now used to be on my body.
Yeah.
Like, and we just carried around like it was nothing.
Right.
We just did like it was
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how in the hell?
Because when you think about it, I am down like 150 something or other. I don't know. I lost track, but 150 something. Uh, None of those boxes were 150
No,
pounds,
but with a struggle.
but it was a struggle
Yeah.
carrying some of them
Yeah.
up.
And so, but we were always active. So our jobs were always active. We didn't work in sedentary jobs. I was always out salsa dancing or
Hmm.
something, getting myself into some trouble somewhere. That takes energy.
Yeah.
Plus I was,
Trouble does take
it
energy.
does. So, and then I was, I was always going to the gym or trying to work out or trying something. I was always trying. But it wasn't until I figured out I needed to eat less, that I needed to figure out how I could get my mindset to eat less, that I started losing weight.
Yeah.
Now, again, I lost 20 pounds, gain, a few, lose 20, gain a few. But when I really lost the majority of my weight, it's all about what I put in my mouth. And I don't even think I worked out for the first like 6 months of kind of that whole process. Too much. I just
Mm.
started working out a lot more when about a year after I moved to Charlotte. So about a year ago. I took about a year. When I first moved to Charlotte, I didn't work out as much. I did hiking and biking and stuff, but not like the
Going
five
to
day
the
a week
gym.
like thing
Yeah.
that I was doing. I was just really focused on my food. And really, really focused on listening to my hunger and that sort of thing. But the activity, not being able to do it for the last 2.5 months, it's I'm grouchy.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel anxious and I feel stressed out. A lot of that has to do with the fact that I just like, you know, cut my body all into pieces and they restitched it up. But I'm excited to get back to the gym for sure. Hmm.
Yeah. And I haven't exercised all week. And so let's talk about our goals for a minute
Yeah,
because
yeah. Hmm.
I'm gonna lead with that. So one of my goals was 5 days a week, and I'm just not. It's not realistic for me. I don't know why I gave myself a goal of 5 days because I think I thought I could do this,
Hmm.
especially because I was like, I'll go to the gym with Justy a couple days and I'll run a couple days, and I'm not going to do 5 days. I
Hmm.
know I'm not going to do 5 days. If I do, it's going to be a great week, but I'm likely not going to do 5 days. I did it when I was at the hotel with you because, like, the
Right.
hell else am I doing anyway?
Right. Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm not doing 5 days. I'm gonna say I'm pivoting my goal again. Because me saying 5 days and not hitting it means me having a week like I had last week where I didn't do anything.
Hmm.
The only exercise I did was helping you move
Well,
yesterday.
because we have to achievable goals. And if
Right.
you're not going to do it, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Then
Exactly.
when you feel disappointed, then you're just like, fuck it.
What's the point?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So, and
Mhm,
I let myself down in that sense. And so I'm going to say 3,
mhm,
minimum of 3 days a week. I can do 3 days a week.
mhm,
No problem, because there are days when it's been kind of cold here lately. And it's
mhm.
crazy because I did a 5K earlier in the month and I had a tank top on. And then I did a 4 mile and I had a long
We
sleeve
have a
on.
freeze warning
Right.
now,
And we
yeah.
have a freeze
Mhm,
warning tonight. So it's kind of like, "Ugh." Like I want to get out and run. I
mhm,
don't like running on a treadmill. I'll do it when I have to.
mhm,
Like I go away for work that later this week and I'm gonna use like unless it's warm enough, I'll use the treadmill there or use the gym there. I just have, I got to get by with what I have, but it's enough excuses. I'm sitting here looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weight bars. I have a whole set of hand weights. I've
uh-huh,
got the benches. I've got the mats. I can do anything I want.
mhm,
I have stairs here. And so sometimes when it's too cold outside, or I don't want to go out, or I don't want to go to the gym,
mhm,
I can exercise right here. I will run circles around the house, literally, um, looking like a crazy person, run up the steps, down the steps. I'll do 10
mhm,
up and downs, like running.
mhm.
So there's exercise I can do here. I don't need a gym membership. I have one. I
You
don't
don't
need
need
it.
one.
Right.
Like for me, I don't need one either. Because I can do stuff from home. I can go for walks. Like I have all the equipment too. I get a better workout when I
Hmm.
go to the gym.
Yeah, same.
I get a better workout when I do a class because I'm competitive, but I'm not competitive necessarily with myself.
Yeah.
So I'm competitive with other, like I'll pick out someone in the class and be like, I'm gonna lift heavier weights than her. Or Phil will be like, well, do 10 to 12 reps. I'm like, oh, we're doing 12. Like
Mhm.
I'm competitive like that, but
Yeah.
just when it's just me versus me,
Yeah.
I'm not as competitive.
Yeah.
I will
It's
slack
you
off.
do have to dig deeper for that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep. But
Um,
and on the days where it's like minimum basis, like So, like on days where I'm not going to the gym or something, like the minimum I'll do is like a yoga thing on my bike app.
Yeah.
I'll do a yoga. Hey, I still got movement. I got some stretching I probably need at 46 years old. So that's what I'm always like, okay, at least I can do a 30-minute yoga
And I do
class.
like to look at if I haven't exercised, I'll see where I am with steps. Like I have
Mhm.
8,000 steps today because I
Mhm.
was kind of out and about. That's not bad.
Mhm.
That's not bad. I didn't exercise, but I was out and about and kind of like well, I was
So
shopping,
your
but
goal is
whatever.
going to be 3 days a week
Minimum of
and
3.
you're 12 5Ks a year this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. That's my,
Uh-huh.
I guess, fitness goal.
Yeah. And mine is I'm going to be a body pump coach by the end of the year. That's my bigger goal, but I was should have been back to the gym by now, but still healing. So once I get healed, I'm just going to do 3 days for probably a couple of months and then I'm going to get back up to my 5 days cuz I that's doable for me.
Mhm.
And actually when I don't do it, I again, it's my stress relief and I need 5 days of stress relief.
Yeah.
Especially with opening up some bakeries here soon and that sort of thing. So,
And I think in the meantime, though, because like you walked Sancho today, I
I
think
did.
I think that could be a focus too. Even because walking, it doesn't
Mhm.
have to be anything intense. It's you're just moving.
Right. And that's the thing. It's kind of like, we make up all these excuses of why we can't do it. But at the end of the day, your heart has to be in it. Like you have to want to do it or be getting something out of it. And for me, it's that stress relief. But you don't have to do a ton if you're eating right.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to kill yourself for 2 hours in the gym. I
Right.
mean, if you're like going to be in a bodybuilding competition or you're like, I don't know why you would spend 2 hours in the gym, but,
Right. It's
unless you
unnecessary.
love it. I mean, if you wanna
Yeah.
spend 2 hours in the gym, cool, but it's not necessary. I mean, I go for an hour, 45 minutes of that is probably actually working out, um, and then, um, and then I eat when I eat healthy, I lose a pound or 2 a week, sometimes a little bit more,
Hmm.
and that's with no other tools than myself, and so if I add tools, if I'm, like, in this weird, which rarely happens, tracking food mode, I'll lose a little bit more. Or, thinking about giving Manjaro a try, I'll probably, lose a little bit more. But, minimum basic is like just work out a little bit,
Right.
not eat
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, because I can, and same. So, like for me, when I jog, I can do a 5K in under 40 minutes. So I can get over 3 miles done in under 40 minutes. So it's kind of like it's, I think 30, I forget what my lowest time was, like 35 maybe. Um, that's like 35 minutes. Who can't give 35 minutes? Now that's me running.
Right.
But and even still walking, like you could
Mhm.
walk 35 minutes and still, if you're just putting effort into it, it's something.
I remember when I first started going to the gym, first of all, I was terrified because I was like, 300 pounds going to the gym and I just didn't want all these people looking at me. And, the
Hmm.
gym is kind of like, well, at least my gym after 8 o'clock, it's like a meat market.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't know. And I went to a gym where a lot of people spoke Spanish, but I don't look like I speak Spanish. And so I would be listening to these two gentlemen having conversations about my physique while I was on the gym in Spanish. And I just felt uncomfortable. But once I started working out with a trainer. This was years ago. And he kind of taught me some things and then I got more comfortable.
Mhm.
And now I'm like super, super comfortable. I don't care what anybody says. But I know how hard it is when you're 300 pounds to go
Yeah.
for the first time. But once you do it, even if it's to walk for 15 minutes on the treadmill, most gyms now have like a women's room or
Mhm.
a dark room that has like treadmills with a movie playing
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, just being in the habit of that and just doing that will give you confidence slowly but surely. And then pick a machine and be like, I'm going to figure that one out and do that one.
Yeah.
And then get comfortable and then pick another one.
Yeah, because I still have some gym anxiety. I prefer going to classes because similar, Justy said like I want someone to tell me what to do.
Mhm.
But also because I don't really know how to use the equipment.
Mhm.
I could figure it out, but I don't want to be the person standing there like, what is this? How do I
Mhm.
do this? So I get really, yes, there's a women's room, and that's the only one that I would use it in. I've gone to the treadmill in the women's room at
Mhm.
the gym that we go to. Um, but I did use some of the equipment there. I did. But I don't know. I'm still not comfortable with just going out by myself. if I was with somebody, I'm okay. When I had like a personal trainer that I worked with, I was okay with that.
Mhm.
He showed me how to use the equipment, and then I would go and use the same exact equipment because I knew how to do it. And I don't know. I was just always worried that people were looking at me like this girl doesn't know what she's doing. Honestly, no, I don't think anybody's looking at anybody.
No,
I
no.
know I'm not
They're
looking at
looking at
worried about what
themselves and their
somebody's doing.
phone. Most of the
Yeah.
people are taking selfies anyway and
Mhm.
looking at themselves. And so I was kind of the same way when I first started at this new gym the gym that I go to now. I went in the women's gym because A, it was safe. I knew that equipment. Some of the equipment out on the big floor I didn't know. But then I realized like that is made for women, and I am not a normal woman frame. Like, it's too short for me. It's too
Mhm.
like so once I started working with Phil out on the floor, I was like, okay, this is more comfortable. Like I can adjust this. First of all, most of the weights, like so a lot of the arm equipment, the weights only go up to like a certain pound, which I can lift more than that. So and they're shorter and they don't adjust in this particular gym. So I was like, okay, so I kind of had to get comfortable. Otherwise, my form wasn't right and I wasn't able to lift the amount of weight that I wanted to lift.
Mm.
So now I feel comfortable when I'm with Phil. Now, when I'm not with Phil and I'm out on the floor lifting weights, I still feel a little intimidated, but it's not because of my weight anymore. It's because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And it's a packed gym um, full of sweaty, dirty dogs. So you know how that is. But honestly, they're probably not looking at me anyway or caring what I'm doing anyway. But if you're afraid to go in the gym for the first time, it's super important to just start or don't just do something at home
Yeah. Or
until you get
outside
that
or
confidence
whatever.
because
Yeah.
you only need movement. You don't need all the equipment. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need anything but movement. You can use your
Yeah.
body weight for and there's like YouTube has a lot. I
Yeah.
when my mom was here, there was like a senior YouTube workouts that I was having her do. I wonder if she's still doing. I need to call her and
Yeah.
ask her. But she would just do those in a chair. And so you can there is ways that you can work out for that activity, for that energy level, for that kind of stress relief, for whatever reason it is. If you're tracking, how many calories you're burning or whatever, there's a way. But again, it's just not
You have to
necessary to
want
lose
to,
weight. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
And even so, after I started losing weight and exercising a lot and everything, my mom was like, she's like, I'm so inspired by you. So she started walking. She upped her step goal. And she would go out in the morning. She lives in Florida, where it's hot.
Hmm.
So she go out in the morning when she first wake up and do 3 miles. And then right around the time that like the sun is setting or whatever, she would go out and do like another 3 miles, when it would like cool off a bit. So she walks like 6 miles a day.
Right.
So I'm like, go ahead, mom. So, she was really like
Hmm.
inspired and wanted to like work on that kind of thing. And she's just walking.
Hmm.
Didn't require anything but a pair of shoes.
Right. And we're lucky when you think about it because I make my own schedule, and you work from home.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I'm not working out or going to the gym or at least getting some sort of activity, for me, it's like 4 days a week is my minimum. I just feel like I just don't feel good.
Hmm.
But when I'm doing it and getting my workouts and finding I'm not a very routine person, but for me it's kind of like finding the what I'm going to do today, what fits my schedule today. So I have a plethora of things. I can go to the gym and work out by myself, not very good.
Hmm.
I can do a class. I can, do Phil. I can work out with Phil a couple
He
days a
probably
week.
wouldn't mind.
I can work out with Phil a couple days a week, and that's kind of like my steady. I can go walking, I can go hiking, I can ride my bike, I can ride my bike at home, I can do a yoga thing, I can do a Lay's Mills thing. So there's
Yeah,
really no
just
excuse.
try
Yeah.
something.
Hmm.
Try something new. So my same friend Kim, because that was my workout slash eating slash shopping buddy in Jersey, and so we joined a gym together, and we went to a Zumba class. We're like, I don't know, so we did this class. Well, it's her preferred
Hmm.
thing to this day. She still does it. I'll do it every once in a while. I go if I see her or whatever. It's not like I'm okay with it, but I've gotten over them. And so yeah, we did that, and then we did a yoga. We're like, "Let's try this yoga class." And I was telling Justy earlier, it was literally because both of us are 300 pounds at this point,
Mhm.
laying on the floor, like trying to do these moves, and we're just like rolling around like slugs, like looking at each other and laughing, and it was hysterical. And I'm like, "We're gonna get kicked out of here," because we couldn't do anything that they were doing. But you know what? We showed up and we tried.
Right,
And I
right.
still do yoga
Uh-huh.
classes to this day. I'll do some like the Pilates or yoga or whatever on the Mills or if there's like a yoga class at the gym, I'm fine with that. I'll do the
Mhm.
stretching, I'll do the yoga. I'll try anything once, and if I really truly hate it, I just don't go back to it again.
I'll never ever do hot yoga again.
Yeah.
That was like the worst workout. That was torture. I think it took me like 2 days to recover from that. I mean, I mean, I would never do that again. You
Yeah.
could not pay me enough money to ever do that again.
Well,
There's
who
no
the hell
sense in it.
wants to be hot?
And yoga
Right.
at the same time.
I'm sure there's people
I'm
out there
sure
that
there's
love it.
benefits, and I'm sure that there's people that are gonna be like, "Oh my god, I love hot
Oh God,
yoga,"
I can't
and
stand
that's
being hot.
great, but I don't like to be hot.
Yeah.
And yoga, I'm not good at yoga. I'll do it. I do it and I do the app. I'll do it at home. I'll even do a class once in a while. I'm really not good at it though.
Yeah. Even
Um,
even my gym in New Jersey that I went to had a pool. And so when I had hurt my back and I couldn't really do like body pump and that kind of thing, I did some of the swim classes.
mhm.
And I was the youngest person in there because it was a
Yes.
lot of elderly
Mhm.
ladies. But you know what? It helped. It really
Mhm.
helped me to like condition my back to feel better
Mhm.
so I could get back to working out the way that I like to. So, like I said, I will literally try anything.
I did a when I lived in Tampa, I went to the Y, and that's when I first started body pump. Actually
Mm.
was at the Y in St. Pete. And but my schedule again, I kind of made my own schedule. So I was available at like 9 o'clock in the morning for this random class. It was like a silver sneakers.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, I
forget, I
love
think it
those.
was silver sneakers yoga or silver sneaker. I did a couple different silver sneakers classes. Listen, that's not easy.
Right, that's still movement.
But man, I felt so good because
Yeah.
I was like the youngest one in there. They let me,
Mhm.
and I don't know if there's like age restrictions or not, but I was definitely the youngest one in there. But I loved it, and I
Yeah,
love those ladies. They were
yeah,
so much fun. You know, at the end of the day, I guess our point of this is we took a long time to find things that we love, and actually, the things that I love now might not be the things I love next year
yeah,
because we're always changing.
yeah.
And so I'm going to continue to try things. Like I really want to do kickboxing.
Yeah, and I was just about to
Uh-huh.
say I've tried to kickboxing.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Uh-huh.
for me, but I
I'm going
tried
to do
it.
that
Yeah.
because I just feel
I
like I
was
want
also
to
300 pounds then I should try it now.
right. I want to feel like I can kick someone's ass.
Yeah.
Phil is going to be doing a boot camp this spring, so I'll probably do his boot camp with him.
Mhm.
It's going to be not far from my new place. So I'm going to continue to try things.
Oh, I joined a women's boot camp when I was in West Virginia. When I lived in West Virginia for a short 6 months, I joined a women's boot camp and I loved it.
Yeah.
And they just
It's just
came
so
and like
early.
no, it wasn't.
Oh, was it?
No, it was at
Oh.
night. It was,
Oh,
like a 6
nice.
o'clock at
Oh,
night thing.
nice.
Yeah. And I made some really good friends
Mhm.
there, and it was, like, these really cool women that were, like, the instructors. There was 2 different
Mhm.
ones. We did it twice a week, and I loved it. I would love to find that again. It
Mhm.
was not an no, it wasn't because I'm not an early workout person. I
I
can go
am.
earlier. I don't go before 9 AM.
I like to get it done.
Yeah.
Get it done. When I work out with Phil, it's we work out at 8, but that's only because of his schedule. If it's up to me, I'd work out at 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like to get it done. Now, when I do my body pump classes, I do work out at 6:30 at night or 5:30.
Yeah.
6:30.
There's
Um
5:30s and
yeah.
6:30s.
So but yeah, so I'm excited about that boot camp class because that I just like to mix things up. So like I said, you know, working out, first you got to find something you love.
Mhm.
Be okay with failing and not being the best. Be
Yeah.
okay with not liking it and being, well, I don't like that. Let me try something else. But at the end of the day, just move.
And also, modifying the
Yeah.
moves because I
Mhm.
modified the hell out of body pump for and I still do sometimes. Some of the
Mhm.
stuff I'm like, "I'm gonna do these push-ups from my knees."
Right. Oh yeah.
I
I
still
still do
modify.
push-ups for my
Yeah.
knees for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to figure that out though if I'm gonna be a coach. But I think I can do it for my knees being a coach because I am who I am.
Right.
And I my body is can do what it can do.
And by
So
the time you get to coach level, you might be able to do it from not from
yeah,
your knees
I'm
too.
hoping. I'm hoping to at least do like 10.
And you know what we've never done? Well, at least I haven't. I don't know about you. CrossFit. That's never and my
Yeah,
sister did it, and I know many people that do it and
I
they
did
love it.
it.
I've just never
I did it in St. Pete. I think it was called the Berg CrossFit or something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
and I did it. I went to one class, and for me, I'm just not barbaric.
Mm.
And it was just barbaric. Like I liked Orange Theory because the lights are on, the music is high, you just get it. And it's not like that like
Okay.
I was just like, get the fuck off my shit, dude. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying here. Don't you
Okay.
see I'm 250 pounds?
Yeah,
Like
I've never done it, so I don't know what
so
it's like.
like Phil or any trainer that I worked with, they've not been like barbaric trainers.
Mhm.
Now, he'll he knows I'm competitive, so he'll like mess with me mentally, like, oh, well, do like 8 or 10. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 12. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
right.
so I'm like
He
that.
already knows you're
He
gonna
already
do it, yeah.
knows, like, if he tells me I can't do something, then I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So he's got that down, but he's not mean or barbaric. And
Yeah.
maybe it was just that one experience, but I was like, what the fuck are you people?
Right.
Like, God, you're so intense and so serious. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
oh my
Mm.
gosh,
Pumping
I
tires
just felt
and
so
yeah.
stressed out. And I'm like, that's not for me. But it is for a lot of people. Actually, Phil is going to be competing. I think he's doing like a CrossFit competition or something. So
Cool.
like that's great. Go Phil. But yeah, it wasn't for me.
Yeah. We
Mm-mm.
do have to get Phil on here too. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
one of our folks we wanna bring on,
Want to interview. Yeah.
which is
So
oh shit, you're gonna ask me what's next.
no, what's next is Manjaro.
Manjaro,
Right? We
yeah.
know that. So
Yeah.
what's next is Manjaro. I am
I just don't know beyond that.
yeah, I'm thinking about trying it for a couple of months. I do have the ability to have a few months supply. For me, it's kind of like I know I can lose weight on my own. I know that I don't need a lot of tools other than myself. I've done it. I've proven that. I want to see what it does though. Like for me, it's more like curiosity,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that it just shuts off this chatter
It's
that we've talked
insane. It's
about
like voodoo
before.
magic.
Yeah, and
But the
so
crazy thing is, not to dip too far into next topic,
mhm,
but I think I'm due. I was telling her this yesterday. I think I'm due for the next level dose because I'm still at 7.5
mhm,
because I do have some cravings now. Whereas
mhm,
before I was like, I didn't even think about it. Now it's like it started creeping back in my head. And I've been, like I told her, I was like, yeah, so I ate like one of those protein puddings I made. Like, oh, Steph, oh, you're crazy living on the edge. You ate a
right.
protein pudding that you meal prepped, but I
Mhm,
wasn't planning on it. And I ate it because I
mhm.
was like, I want some like chocolate or something.
And for me, I kind of with this surgery, I've definitely been having more leniency with what I eat. I haven't gained weight, which
Yeah.
was my goal during this recovery. I haven't gained weight, and I haven't been doing a lot of activity, so I'm still eating within a maintenance level.
Yeah.
But it's a constant thought. It's a constant battle. But I just feel like I want something to kind of give me a few months to get my brain back to where it was. I don't want to be on a medication for the rest of my life though. I
Yeah.
know that. And
Yeah.
so if it's something that it's kind of like with her, if the chatter's still coming back, well, I want that to go away without medication. And I don't know if it will. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's possible.
Yeah.
But I know I don't want to be on medication for my whole life. So I want to try it and just see what
Yeah.
it does and go from there. But that's kind of where I'm at
Mhm.
with it.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. We'll talk more. I
Yeah.
have so much in my head right now, but we'll
Hmm.
save that for
Yeah.
next week.
Hmm.
And then after that, I'm not sure. We'll have to figure it out, but we at least have one more lined up for you.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, we'll
Yeah.
see you next
All
time.
right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.